Alrighty, folks, you have heard from Pace Morby and Ben Mala and Michael Zuber. It is time to lowball, but let's do it correctly. Let's write some disrespectful offers that have a chance. Some of you hear lowball, disrespectful, and you're getting a little wacky. We're going to have a conversation with Matt the Mortgage Guy and Carlos, my team in Fresno, California. And we're really going to talk about how to do it correctly, how to increase your chances, and how to make an amazing deal. We always welcome the guys as they show up. Matt, you were first today. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing really, really well. It's one of the things that's pretty interesting to me when I think about Ben Mala, Pace Morby, and myself screaming, it is time to lowball. Pace Morby going as far as to say it's not rude, it's required. Ben Mala telling the boys at Iced Coffee Hour, what's he doing? He's lowballing, baby. But I don't know that a lot of people do this in conjunction with their mortgage broker, which I think is a mistake. So talk about what you're seeing out there, not seeing, and then we'll get to Carlos.
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to set some proper kind of boundaries or context for it because there's a couple things to think about. You know, Ben Mala might be talking about a 100-unit apartment complex.
Or more, for sure.
Yeah, that's been on the market for 380 days.
Exactly.
Of course you're going to lowball, right? And I love Pace Morby. I caught that interview. Realize that as an investor who's taking a house that cannot get financing and is not, livable right now, of course you're going to lowball. And he's talking about you have to offer a certain number because then you're going to rehab it. You're going to pay holding costs. You need to make a profit because you're a business. And that's a totally different thing. Even though I do agree, if you're an investor and you're like, hey, I want to buy 2 duplexes in this market, it's listed at $575,000. I'm going to offer $540. That's still go out there and shoot your shot because the worst they can say is no. But realize that Pace Morby saying it's required, because you have to have margin and you want to anchor and start low and all those things. It's a different game. Essentially that they're playing. And so while I still agree with write disrespectful offers, go out there and find yourself a deal, and I have clients doing it, you have to adjust for what type of asset you're buying, what type of condition that asset is in. Because unfortunately, Mike, some people get advice and they think it's blanket everything, and they go out there and there's a house that's below the median that's been in the market for 4 days. And they're like, I'm offering 365 on that house. They got it up for 515. Yeah, right. And you'll get laughed out of the building, right?
Yeah. We will certainly talk about when not to do it. You've highlighted a couple of things there, but we're going to get into this because I think your 540 on 575 duplex, that is not an offer I'm writing the other way. So again, we're going to talk about this more, but let's bring Carlos into this. Carlos, you work obviously part of my team with a lot of great investors in Fresno. You are an investor in Fresno. I'm curious, when you hear Pace Morby, Ben Mala, and Mike Zuber tell you to write disrespectful offers to start lowballing, what do you hear when you hear big guys say that?
Oh, obviously, I'm not as big as you guys, but I also understand that even in the smaller version of what you're saying, is that I need to cut it down 20%, 30%. I know that this is disrespectful, but I think this is something that I'm realizing that it's business. It's not being disrespectful. Yeah. And the other thing that I would say, it's not even just in real estate. I think in general, I think now, because I see it on my end, people are always trying to cut down. Yeah. 20, 30% services, not just property, but anything.
Work.
Which I understand the process. I understand. And I think that if you are in your emotions and if your mindset is not correct, you would think it's disrespectful, but in reality, it's just the reality we live in right now.
Yeah.
It's the reality that, as a father, as a business person, and as an investor, I take that as a reality. Even when I'm looking for equipment, I'm not paying sticker price. And I've been hearing you say this for more than just 1 month or just right now. For months. You've been saying since last year. Disrespectful offer is what you want to do. And so even when I meet other brokers, and I mention your name, I mention the channel, and I ask them about the disrespectful offer. Some of them are on the fence, and some of them are all in. And
Yeah.
so, for me, it's exciting to be here, but also to understand. For me, it's like,
Well,
is
yeah.
20% disrespectful? Is 30% disrespectful? Or how much more can I go? And
Yeah,
I
well,
have a
let's get
tactic.
into that. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
get into that because I think one of the things I want to make very clear, the reason Ben Mala, Pace Morby, and myself are talking about lowballing and disrespectful offers is because it is clear in most of the country we are in a buyer's market. And buyer's markets are really the only time you could do this in mass. Because again, a transaction is both a seller and a buyer. And today buyers are scarce. Buyers are afraid. Um, so let's talk about where not to do it first, and then we'll get into how to do it. What's the number to Carlos's question? I got a few rules of thumb. We'll go to first. We'll go to you next, Matt. When not to do it. Again, one of the things you need to understand about your buy box is average days on market. And let's just play for a minute. Say average days on market in your market is 30 days. That's the average. So in my world, I wouldn't write a disrespectful offer until 45 days. That's just me personally. I want it to go 50% beyond whatever average is. If you wanted to write it at 30 days or day 31, I'm okay with that. I'm just telling you what I do. Where do you not do it? Guys, if the average days is 30 days on market, don't do a disrespectful offer on day 7, day 3. That's just, you're wasting everybody's time. All right, there's no time for pressure to build. Second, to Matt's point, if you happen to be playing with below the median and turnkey, i.e. FHA ready, really don't do disrespectful, 7 days into a 30-day average. That's just showing you don't know what you're doing. And then the last thing, and why I think a lot of first-time home buyers can't do this, is because they get emotionally charged to a house. No, Michael, you don't understand. That's the house. The house. The only one. Once you are married to a house because of whatever reason, you have no negotiating power. Why am I comfortable writing disrespectful offers? Because I'm willing to write lots of disrespectful offers. There is no house I have to have because it is all math. I'll stop there. Go to you, Matt. What others don't do you think?
Yeah, a lot of stuff in there. And what you ended on, I want to touch on first, because while it's a good point, I deal with some people where, it's not all math. It is school district. It's close to relatives and family that are helping out with kids. And so, that is a scenario where some of this stuff probably has to get thrown out the window. But if you're, looking at it from strictly an investment standpoint, you have to be unemotional, to your point.
Yeah,
And
no, you're absolutely right. Like if you have to be within walking distance to your mom's house because she's going to watch your kids, your negotiation is out the window, right? Because at any one time, there's like 2 houses that you could pick from, and one of them's on the wrong side of the street. You don't want to cross the traffic light or whatever the reason is. Yeah. So if you're in a situation where you got to have that house, it's not math. It's like that's like it. You have a supply of 1. I have a supply of 100, and I only need 1. You have a supply of 1 and you need 1. I'm going to win.
Right. Yeah. But, for the rest of the folks out there, and what just crossed my mind too, working with so many buyers over so many years, it's so infrequent that the house you buy when you're 27 or 31 or 34 is the house you live in forever, that I think more people should look at that through an investment lens. There's a lot of different ways out. Some people it's sell and upgrade. Some people it's convert to a rental. Some people, it's, convert this thing to a rent by the room. Whatever it is, if you thought about it like that versus like, oh, what a pretty yard. Man, these countertops are nice, which is what people do, right? But, I actually see people that come into it and I talk to them and I love it when they're like, this is a 3 to 5 year house. And so they're already looking at rent projections. They're already trying to figure out like, what's this going to look like in 5 years when I want to, move up to a house that, will fit my life from age 40 to 65 or whatever it is. And so, you've got to be able to do that and be unemotional about it, because then you start to open up 40 days on market. Man, this place has got kind of a weird layout, or, it's next to something commercial. Renters are still willing to pay $2,400 a month, but maybe, when I have 3 kids, I don't want to be next to a, repair garage or something.
Yeah.
And so all that stuff gets opened up. But, I think generally speaking, you touched on it, Mike, the agent you work with, and that is so vitally important, because truth be told, that's the first filter where a good agent is going to be honest with a buyer, where a buyer goes, hey, I want to do this. Well, based on X, Y, and Z, we can't do it on this house, right? Or you might say, I like this house. What do you think about this price? And the agent goes, listen, it's been on the market 44 days. Let's offer this number instead. And the agent, in some cases I've seen, is more aggressive and disrespectful than the buyer, because the agent knows the game and realizes, like, offended or not, you have an offer after 44 days, you're going to look at it, right? And so you got to be paired up with the right professionals. I think there's a healthy balance between disrespectful and realistic, and you've got to find that. And the best way to find it is through professionals. When I talk to somebody about a mortgage, I go, I've structured 10,000 of these. I've closed on 2,000 of them. I've seen a thing or two. And so based on all the information you're giving me, here's what I know. And then the best recipe is pairing that with a great agent, where the agent understands what the buyer's trying to do. We're trying to get this price or lower. We're trying to get this much in credit, because that credit's going to allow for a temporary buy down. And you're able to put yourself in a lot better position than just willy-nilly, me like house, me put offer, me get accepted.
There you go. Well, the other thing, Carlos, that a lot of your friends out in Fresno I know, is that if you're going to be doing disrespectful offers, you're going to have to be doing a lot of follow-up. I think a lot of people hear Ben Mala, hear Pace Morby, hear myself say disrespectful offers. They try it 3, 4, 5 times, and they go, that stuff doesn't work. Hello? It's not supposed to work the first time. You're supposed to follow up and follow up and follow up. Why don't you talk about the importance of follow-up and contact and just running it like a process?
Obviously, one of the things that I wanted to say in regards to that, there's a particular property my son and I are looking at, and I think one of the things that we are seeing is what Matt had touched. It's the end goal. If you're an investor, what is your exit strategy? What is your end goal with that property? And so we did notice that the property had passed, I think 90. I think it was in the hundreds, and then I guess the contract was lost, and another realtor came in, and it's on the market
there you
again.
Go. Yeah.
And so we're observing the property change hands. Now, I guess my question would be, do I just skip the realtor and just go directly to the owner? Because I also wanted to, I understand that we need to be disrespectful, but I also understand that there's a professional line you don't want to cross. Yeah.
Again,
so,
So what I would say with that is, if there is a listing agreement in place, which there sounds like there is, I would go through the agent. Because again, they've become that, person that's in charge of that asset.
Gatekeeper.
But they've been the gatekeeper. But again, to your point, I wouldn't wait 45 days. Because you've been doing your work, it's already been on the market 120 days. An agent already lost the listing, which means they lost money. You guys got to remember that first agent lost money. They only get paid at the end. So I would call up that listing agent that has it now. I would tell them right away, hey, my name is Carlos. My son and I are looking on this. We saw that Mary Sue lost the listing. We know it's on the market for 7 days. It's really 107 days. I want to work something out. Here are my numbers.
Yeah.
This, that, the other thing.
Another thing that I have observed this past week was when I meet with other realtors, like they're anxious to want to sell the property, and they're sticking to their guns about the price. And I'm like, well, you don't realize that the inventory is stacking. You know, and
Yeah.
this is, I mean, this is coming from a handyman, because
Right.
they're looking at me like, what are you talking about? What do you know about this? And I'm like,
Ah,
well, I listen to Michael Zuber. I listen to one renter at a time, so I'm aware of what's going on. I'm not just a handyman doing this
mhm.
call, but I'm also listening and educating myself. And so when I tell them, I don't know if you're going to get what you're asking, and I don't know
Right.
what you promise the seller, but I'm just, I'm aware of it, and I hope that you are aware of it, that,
Yeah.
if you want to sell it right away, you got to price it at the right price. And if you wait a little longer, I don't know if you're going to be
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
sell it. Yeah, because
Well,
I've been
let's
watching. Yeah.
yeah, let's talk about agents for a minute, because I went on a little
Yeah.
rant the other day, because I had I'll call it lunch. I don't know, appetizers, kind of walking around. I was talking with 10, 12 agents in Vegas. I was invited to speak there, and boy, they were whiny little bitches. I mean, damn, all they were doing was complaining. My buyer this, my buyer that, my seller this, my seller that. I'm like, you guys are soft. Welcome to a buyer's market. Some of you need to leave. You need to quit right now. You're not going to do anything. I mean, why are you crying? So here's the deal. If you're a buyer's agent today, I actually want to tell you congratulations, because you have all the power. Now, I know a lot of your buyers have wasted your time and they're not looking anymore. But you know what, buyer's agents? You have something that you don't even know you have. You know what your buyers are looking for. I call that a buy box. You know, because hopefully you're doing your job, that buy box is more full of opportunity today than it's been the last 4 or 5 years. For the last 4 or 5 years, you might have had 2 listings. Today, you have 12. What you need to be doing as a buyer's agent today is calling up your agent or calling up your buyers and say, you know what? Let's get stupid. There's 12 houses or condos or whatever that could fit your criteria. I want to have permission for you to write 5 offers, and let's write them all 20% below asking and see what happens. But here's the deal, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. If someone says yes, you got to close, because I'm not going to burn my reputation for a maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, pitch it that way. Again, if you are a buying agent today, you need to look at this as the biggest opportunity in the world, because a lot of your peers are soft and need to go work at Starbucks. You need to get aggressive. You need to write lots of offers. You need to put on reminders. I mean, what the hell are you doing anyway? There's nothing going on. What are you freaking doing? Right?
Yeah.
Go get to work. And now let's go to the other side, the listing agents, because I got hot. I was like, I cannot listen to you whiny little bitches. I mean, freaking A, do your job. If you're a listing agent and you've been on the market 100 days and you're about to lose the contract, you need to figure out what else the seller could do, because it's not all about price. Maybe they can do carries. Maybe they can do this. Maybe they can work with a mortgage broker and pretend they're a builder. What would that mean? Oh, by the way, come in and talk about how you can offer a 4.99 or 5.25 to the right, this, that, the other.
I think we lost his mic.
Yeah, he froze. I was going to ask if he froze for you.
I think it's his Wi-Fi.
The Vegas realtors froze him. Come on, interwebs. We'll see if he comes back.
So how are you feeling right now? The mortgages.
It's an interesting market. It's
right.
slower. I wonder if we're still live. Maybe we just continue since Zuber froze, because I got a lot to say about agents too.
We're back, I think.
He's back.
There he is. And actually the recording. So we had a little technical difficulty. It's still going. So I don't know where I was at, but I'll stop there and let you rant, because I don't want to repeat my rant.
Well, you cut off for me talking about listing agents acting like builders. And I'll tell you something. Last Friday, I had an agent say, here's my new listing. It's $865,000. I know this isn't going to sell super fast, because Sacramento-ish, like that's above median, right? And so it's if below median is trading in a certain number of days, then above it, it's just going to be longer. So long story short, she had me spin up a 2-1 buy down, show that to prospective buyers walking through the open house. What would it look like if you were 499 for the first year, and then 599 and then 699? I actually had the seller call me and say, oh my gosh, Matt, like, how much does this cost me? And I said, if you offer this to a buyer, which this isn't, necessarily an offer, this is just to show something to buyers of the possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
It's $16,100. And I think it was about $800 a month for the first year, and then call it $400 a month for year 2 in savings. I'm telling this seller, to save that same $800 a month, she would have to lower her price by over $100,000.
Exactly.
And so to do it temporarily, again, it's just the first year, it's not like magic. It's a $16,000 concession. And so you don't necessarily have to go from 865 to 820 or 800 or 780. You can offer this concession, and maybe that's enough to make a buyer feel comfortable. Okay, I'm starting at 499. And so to your point, Mike, sell it like a builder. What most sellers do, and their agents probably, is wait until day 45. Man, this isn't selling. What can we do?
Too late.
This agent is smart. This agent called me and said, going live this weekend, out of the gate, this is going to be something that's offered to buyers. And so
you got to stand out. If you're a listing agent, you got to do this more and more. You don't want to just be another house and stacking inventory. Stand out, be different, and work with professional mortgage brokers. I love that. I love that. Carlos,
I think what Ty does about the hybrid, really, that it sounds like this. This is, you have to educate yourself. You can't sit in your hands. You can't, like what Matt said. Yeah, if you're waiting for 90 days and then you're like, well, let me see what I can do. Well, it's a bit too late. You're running. You're running on empty. On fumes.
Exactly. Well, again, folks, it is a buyer's market. Again, I know it's very uncomfortable. I know it's different. I know it's not 2022. I'm sorry. But 2025 will go down as the year of the investors. It is the year, some of you will get your best deals ever, deals of the lifetime, deals of the decades, deals of the year. Carlos, closing thoughts, and where can people reach out to you?
Well, just you can call me at 559-681-8431. You could also jump on our online and find us at www.handyman-fresno-handyman.com, and you'll hit our landing page. The other thing I want to say is, one of the things I have to realize, I'm doing things like, I don't longer want to be a handyman, but I have to do the work to become the investor I dream to be. I'm not copying nobody. I'm not trying to pretend to be somebody. I see that in order for me to be the best investor, I have to educate myself. I have to. And so what I'm saying to those that are listening, you got to do the work. Like Michael always chirps about that. You got to do the work. And there's I know in my life and where I'm at, I feel like, man, I got to hurry up. I got to do a lot to do. I don't have a lot of time. And so I have a second chance, and I got to do what I need to do. But for those that are listening, you're in the moment right now. Slow down. Nothing's happening. The sky's not falling. I know you hear all this noise. Slow down, refocus, and do the work. I tell you that because I try to block the noise and focus. And so anyways, that's my rant for today. Thank you, guys.
There you go.
Thank you so
much. Love it, Carlos.
Yeah.
And Matt, closing thoughts where they can find you?
Massive opportunity out there. Go to greatmortgagebroker.com, fill out that form if you want to connect with me and my team. Get yourself pre-approved and know your numbers first, because there's so much opportunity. And, I can say it till I'm blue in the face. People who are out there taking action, looking for deals, writing offers, they're getting great deals. It's happening. You can be part of it or you cannot. It's up to you, right? You decide whether you just, are going to put your hands in your lap and put your head down and it's too hard. Affordability is an issue, whatever the case may be. Like, I'm seeing offers in California where people say it's impossible. I saw a guy put together a deal on a duplex where he's cash flowing $1,200 a month with 25% down. And it even shocked me, but it's another example of, like, if you're not doing the work, if you're not out there submitting offers, if you're not looking, I guarantee you're not going to find the deals. But if you're out there, pounding the pavement, writing offers, doing the work, there's deals to be had. To Mike's point, a lot of, deals of the year if you're willing to do the work. So it's up to you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Have fun.
Yeah.
Later.
Thanks, Mike.